Everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I plant my collard greens. Now there's obviously a ton of different ways you can do that. Putting them in raised beds is also an option as well, but I found that for me and where I am, the best thing to do is to put them in the ground. Now I put them really deep into the ground. I use a post hole digger, and so I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing it this year. Now you can see we have weed fabric, or some of you may call it roll cover or whatever, down, and it's not going to be perfect to keep the weeds out. I understand that, right? But it's going to really help keep the weeds at least I would say managed better than some of the previous years. All right, now you don't have to have what I have, right? Now, as a lot of people would use a pair of scissors, or they may use a box cutter, but I've got a little mini torch here. And so what I'm doing is going about every 2 feet to plant my collards. Okay, so you can see we got the first one in here. I'm going every 2 feet. That way they have enough room to really grow. We're using this post hole digger so that the roots grow really deep down in there, but the 2 feet spacing apart is going to allow from the sun to hit it from all angles, which is going to give you those big beautiful collards a lot of you guys have been talking about. Okay, now before we go ahead and get into it, I just wanted to address this. So someone asked me about putting the videos in landscape, but for whatever reason the algorithm does not push the videos on this channel if they're not in this vertical format that you see. So if I put it in landscape, you probably wouldn't know that the video's uploaded. So that's the reason why I'm doing that. So I've got my blowtorch here, and I'm using this fencing post so that I know where 2 feet apart is. Okay, so I'm gonna click it down, and then I'm just gonna create a circle slightly bigger than the hole that I'm gonna use on the post hole digger. So we're gonna go here, and then just create a nice little circle here. And then you'll notice that it's starting to break apart. Now again, you don't have to do it this way, but for me, this is what works. Okay, so you can see now all I gotta do is pull that back, and I'm gonna take my post hole digger here, and then I'm gonna get to drilling down deep in there, because again, the collard roots can get woody just like a tree, right? So the bigger you can get those roots, so number one, you're gonna need a lot of room for them to grow down deep, but as the roots get thicker, they're gonna spread anyway. Okay, now I like to use the fish emulsion to really get those collards nice, big, and established. And so if you don't know what that is, it's a fertilizer. You can get it from Walmart, Home Depot. They've got it almost everywhere you can think of. So let's go ahead and get this boy in here. All right, so believe it or not, we've got clay soil. And so that's another reason why, for me, getting them in the ground, it's good to break up the soil, get it nice and loose. That way those roots got a lot of room to really spread and do what they need to do. So these are some vates. All right, it's a good time of year to get these in the ground. So for me, I usually get collards outdoors at the end of February. Some people do it March, April. So if you're getting them in May, that's fine, but you know, you want to get them to where they're gonna be. So I understand that because we have some cooler days still ahead, that the plants are gonna look just like this for a while. But once they start taking off in May, it's gonna be no looking back. So again, if you're growing them in pots and you can kind of control the temperature, Yeah, those are gonna initially do fine, especially if you're using that good potting soil, but it's only gonna grow so big in a pot. So again, if you want them big and beautiful, you got to get them in the ground. Now, this particular part of the garden, my collards have done the best, I would say. So last year I didn't plant them here, but we're doing it again this year because we got a lot of people to feed this year. So let's go ahead and get this in the ground. And so now I'm just gonna do a little bit of a backfill here. Okay. I'm gonna take my plant here, fill it up just a little bit more. Now we can go ahead and fill it up around the edges. And I don't have to worry about watering them in right now because I think it's gonna be raining tonight if I'm not mistaken. So this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get them in the ground. So let me make sure I have them where I want them. Went off center a little bit here. So there we go. We got them where we want them now. We'll finish backfilling this thing here. Okay. So there you go. Got one plant there and another one here kind of hiding, but we're good to go. Okay. So now what's gonna happen? They're gonna look like this for probably the next 3-4 weeks, which is fine. You can fertilize them as it starts to warm up a little bit, but yeah, that's just how the game goes with collards. Now, another reason why I want to get them out here because I want to start to harvest before the pests really become a problem. And then in the summertime, I'm not gonna say I don't care what really happens, but I like to get my harvest early. That way, whatever happens. I'm not really, one of those chemical type of people, but if it ever got bad, you got to do what you got to do, right? So no judgment against anybody that does do it, but for me and my six, party of six family, I want us to be as healthy as possible without any chemicals. So let's go ahead and do another one here. So I'm measuring from here, the center, all the way down to this base part right here. So not any of this included, but right in here. Okay. So again, I'm gonna take my torch. If I can find it, here it is. Take our torch and just create a circle right in here. Now the crazy thing is I can already see some weeds growing underneath, right? So again, this fabric is not gonna stop anything from growing underneath, but it'll at least suppress them from really just taking over and having it look super messy. Now, whatever grows with the actual plants, I can easily pull those out, right? But one thing you got to remember too, for example, I have clay soil. We see a lot of dandelion growing in here. Now, this is a quiz for you guys. When you see a lot of dandelion growing, what does that mean? That means that your soil is compacted, right? And so the dandelion has, which is a nice thick root, and what that root is really about, obviously you can use it for different medicines and whatnot, but what that root does is it breaks up the soil. So we've got compact soil back here, we've got clay soil, and so anywhere you see dandelion, typically, at least where I am in the Midwest, it means the soil is compacted or the wind has basically blown the seeds from from a field of mini dandelion over to, you know, your yard or whatnot. Okay, so again, just wanted to let you guys kind of see the process of, you know, me getting my collards going in the ground. The time is now, right? The time is now. It's not get them out there in June and get them out there in July. You can do that, but if you do that, just understand that the pest pressure is going to be absolutely insane. Okay, now that doesn't mean that we're not going to deal with any Japanese beetles or you know, the cabbage moths still may come early. You just never know. So again, this is what we're doing today, and let's go ahead and let's harvest some. We're gonna harvest some green onion, and this is gonna be our first batch of the year. And we've been eating off these green onion. I think this is the 4th year, just like the rest of them we'll be picking today. So I'm gonna take my knife and just cut across the bottom. I'm gonna get some of these leaves out. And I'm gonna just take my knife and just cut across the bottom. All right. And so I know a lot of people like the taste of the bottom of the onion, but again, these are, you cut them and they keep coming back every year, right? And so this is the reason why, you know, I'm cutting them just before the roots. And then I would say maybe 4 weeks from now, they probably gonna be the same height they are now. So let's go get them. See, in this area, we pretty much have them all over. And the kids come out here every day after school and start picking on them. So I'll probably leave this little batch here and then pick the rest. But this is probably the most low maintenance thing that we grow, from a perspective of planting them and they just continue to thrive every year and you don't have to do anything, right? So you put the seeds down and then let them grow. And then you don't have to worry about onion ever again, because even us, right? We let them go to seed, and then if something were to happen to the actual plant, guess what? It's more that are gonna come back, right? So a lot of you probably call them bunching onion, right? And so basically the concept is they're gonna you know get cut, and then they're gonna come again. You cut them, they come again. The more you cut them, the more they're gonna produce for you. So I'm gonna take these little babies here, and then I'm gonna leave these here for the kids. That way when they come home from school, they got plenty of onion that they can choose from. So we got another little batch of onion here. Gonna grab some from here. You can see some pretty nice green onion here. So we never, at any time of the year, we never pretty much run out of onion. By the time these are going to seed, the bigger ones are ready to start producing for us, right? So when I say bigger, I'm talking your red onion, your yellow onion, your white onion. So there's so many different varieties, but this is what we got today.